Greetings, welcome back to the Conservative Lion. Just wanted to get on here real quick and give you guys an update about a case that I've been following down in Florida. And it was just recently settled up here in Atlanta at the 11th District Court of Appeals. That Court of Appeals covers cases that originated in Georgia, Florida, or Alabama. And this was a case involving the pictured transgender student who goes by Drew Adams. Drew Adams is a trans male, and down in Florida, Drew Adams was having issue with the school's or the district's bathroom policy. Drew Adams, the transgender male who is a biological female who wants to be called him, Drew Adams was attending school in St. Johns County. I don't know the name of the school, but I think it's Punt Vedra or something like that. But regardless of that, St. Johns County, for those of you that don't know, it's right below Jacksonville. It is a very, very conservative county. It's far away from some of the more liberal parts of Florida, like Orlando and Miami, but Jacksonville to the north is one of the more conservative large cities in the country. But St. Johns County, that's St. Augustine for those of you that are familiar with Florida. And they had a bathroom policy that stated you must use the bathroom that is correspondent to the gender that you were assigned at birth. So if you're a biological male, you're supposed to use the male's bathroom. If you're a biological female, you're supposed to use the female bathroom. Or they have gender neutral bathrooms at that particular high school. So Drew Adams was required to use either the gender neutral bathroom or the female bathroom. But Drew Adams said, no, I don't want to use the female bathroom. I don't want to use the gender neutral bathroom. I want to use the boys' bathroom. And the school said, no, that's not how things go down here in St. Johns County, Florida. And, they went to court. And the St. Johns County court system down there sided with the school. And Drew Adams appealed. The family of Drew Adams appealed. Took it up to the 11th District Court of Appeals. And in a 7-4 decision, the court upheld the St. Johns County law. So this right here is a victory for those of us that believe in common sense. They tried to make concessions with Drew Adams and say, hey, look, we got gender neutral bathrooms, but it's never enough for these people. I have a news clip to show you.
Story we are following tonight, the question over who gets to use what restroom in St. Johns County schools is now answered after a 5-year-long court battle.
Drew Adams, now a transgender man, was part of a lawsuit against the St. Johns County School Board. Adams says he was denied using the boys' restroom. Instead, he would have been required to use a gender-neutral restroom. A court of appeals has ruled the school district's bathroom policy was not unconstitutional. All Your Side's Tristan Hardy joins us live in the studio. Tristan.
Right, and this ruling from the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, its jurisdiction includes Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. Now, the decision was made after the St. John's School District appealed earlier, ruling in favor of Adams. 7 out of 11 judges agreed the St. Johns County School District didn't violate Drew Adams' rights. That means if a student in the district identifies as a transgender, they have the option to use a gender-neutral restroom or the restroom assigned to their sex at birth. Initially, federal judges ruled in Adams' favor, twice. That is until the school district appealed, and all the judges in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals agreed to hear the case.
I mean, once the full in-bank 11 judges hears and decides the case, that's the end of the road in this court.
Brian Gotti, a certified appellate attorney, doesn't represent any parties in the case. He explains how Adams doesn't have a lot of options at this point.
The only recourse for Mr. Adams at this point would be to ask the United States Supreme Court to review the case.
Several of the judges filed separate opinions. Judge Charles Wilson says the school district's bathroom policy's refusal to accept updated medical documentation is discriminatory on the basis of sex. Another wrote the issue should be left to Congress instead of the courts. For all 11 judges to hear this case is something Gotti says doesn't happen often.
It's pretty rare. There's only a handful of cases they hear each year with all judges on the court.
Now, the St. Johns County School District sent us a statement regarding the court's ruling, and it reads, "We are pleased with the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals decision in the Drew Adams case. The court's opinion was supported by sound legal reasoning and common sense. Under this decision, the district will be able to protect all students' rights." Now, I did reach out to Drew Adams, but he declined to comment. He has 90 days to appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm Tristan Hardy, First Coast News, on your side.
So there you have it. And I pulled up an article. Don't want to bore you guys to death, but real quick, it just says that as it upheld a St. Johns County School Board policy preventing a transgender male student from using boys' bathrooms, a federal appeals court Friday indicated that similar reasoning could apply to disputes about banning transgender females from playing on women's and girls' sports teams. So that's very significant because this decision sets precedent, and it was a convincing victory for the side of common sense. It was a 7-4 decision by the judges. Now, initially, this court heard the case and they ruled in favor of the transgender student, but it was only 3 judges on the panel. This time, the whole brigade came out and they gave an overwhelmingly, lopsided victory to the side of common sense. They sided with the school. They sided with St. Johns County, Florida. Out of an 11 judge panel, 7 out of 11 is a pretty good victory. It wasn't 6-5, it was 7-4. So that's pretty convincing. So the school system does not violate the constitutional rights of this Drew Adams kid, and he has, well, she. I don't do the whole gender pronoun crap. If you're born with a male reproductive organ, you're a boy. You're a male. If you're born with a female reproductive organ, you're a girl. I don't do that crap. But anyway, Drew Adams. Let's just call her Drew. Drew Adams has 90 days to appeal this ruling by the court, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have any more information to give you guys about is this going to go to the Supreme Court or not. It very possibly could. Drew Adams and his family, her family, have 90 days to appeal this decision. And the Supreme Court does not have to take the case. The Supreme Court may or may not take it if it gets appealed all the way to the Supreme Court. But that's literally the only other place that it can go at this point. And like I said, I don't believe that we're going to, see the end of this anytime soon because the nation's very, very divided right now. And this is a very, very hot button issue, especially with the trans athletes competing with biological girls. You got a lot of biological males wanting to be boys. Wanting to dress up as girls like Leah Thomas. And it's totally unfair. It's totally disrespectful to female sports. And it's amazing that the feminists are not, raising hell about this. But that's another conversation for another video. So I'll go ahead and wrap things up. But like I said before, don't be surprised if this case does not make it to the Supreme Court. If it doesn't, another one will. It's inevitable at this point. The conservative side, we seem to be fighting back more and more and more against the wokies in these cultural battles because they've taken so much because we've allowed them to. We've lost so much ground in the culture wars. And a lot of times conservatives feel like, oh, we can't beat them. They control everything. They control the media. They control entertainment. They control, these big corporations. They control big tech. And yeah, they do have a lot of control. They do have a lot of power. But guess what? They get bolder and bolder and bolder every time you fold, every time you lay down. Instead of standing up and fighting back, you lay down, and that just lets them, steamroll you into the ground even further. So when we stand up and fight back, we win. Elections have consequences. The more conservative judges that get nominated to the bench, the better. These federal judges are lifetime appointments. So that's why it's super important for us to, Be active at all levels of government, local, state, and federal. We need as many judges on our side as possible. The Supreme Court, they've been more friendly to us since we got a conservative majority. In my opinion, I think that Clarence Thomas is the GOAT of the Supreme Court of his generation. No Supreme Court justice has been more rock solid than Clarence Thomas. Some may argue Antonin Scalia. He's no longer with us. Rest in peace to him. And I think he was great. But Clarence Thomas is a legend. He will go down as one of the greatest Supreme Court justices in American history. I think Alito's also rock solid. Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, and Kavanaugh, Trump's three appointees. I'm not so keen on them. I'd rather have them than not, but I don't trust them as much as I trust Alito and Thomas, and that's just what it is. But I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, you guys. See y'all on the next one. Subscribe, share. Peace.